Picture this. It's ancient Rome around 275 BCE. A legionary stands on the battlefield, sword in hand, ready for anything, or so he thinks. Suddenly the ground begins to tremble, a sound he's never heard before. A trumpet blast, but deeper, more powerful, echoes across the field. Then he sees it, a mountain of muscle and hide with ears like giant fans and a trunk that could uproot a tree. It's an elephant, and it's charging right at him. This wasn't just a random beast. This was a war machine, a living tank, and its journey to this Roman battlefield started thousands of miles away, in the heart of India. Today, we're diving into the incredible story of the Indian king who sent 500 war elephants to the west, a gift that would terrify the Roman Republic and change the face of ancient warfare forever. Forget Amazon Prime. This was the ultimate express delivery of shock and awe. Our story begins not in Rome, but in the mighty Mauryan Empire of India. Following the footsteps of his legendary father, Chandragupta Maurya, the man who founded the empire and famously met Alexander the Great's generals, Emperor Bindusara ruled over a vast and prosperous domain. The Mauryans weren't just powerful, they were masters of a unique and devastating form of warfare, the war elephant. In India, elephants weren't just revered animals, they were an integral part of the military. Think of them as the heavy cavalry of their day. These weren't just wild elephants randomly pointed at the enemy. They were highly trained, bred for battle, and guided by expert handlers called mahouts. A mahout would spend his entire life with a single elephant, forming an unbreakable bond. They could command their elephant to charge, to trample, to swing its tusks, and even to pick up enemy soldiers with its trunk. From a tower, or howdah, on the elephant's back, archers could rain down arrows, protected by the sheer size of their living fortress. For any army that had never faced them, it was a terrifying and almost unbeatable weapon. Meanwhile, to the west, the successor kingdoms of Alexander the Great's empire were in a constant state of flux. One of the most powerful was the Seleucid Empire, founded by Seleucus III Nicator. He had once clashed with Bindusara's father, Chandragupta, but instead of endless war, they forged a historic peace treaty. This wasn't just a piece of paper. It was a pact sealed with diplomacy, trade, and a very large four-legged gift. As part of this treaty, Chandragupta had gifted Seleucus a staggering 500 war elephants. This single act transformed the Seleucid army, giving them a decisive edge in their own conflicts. After Chandragupta, his son Bindusara continued this friendly relationship. He honored the treaty, maintaining the flow of these incredible beasts and their expert mahouts to the west. This wasn't just a friendly gesture, it was a strategic move. By supplying his allies with a weapon only India could provide, Bindusara projected Mauryan power and influence far beyond his borders without ever sending an army. So, how did these Indian elephants end up fighting Romans? The connection is a Greek king named Pyrrhus of Epirus. A brilliant but ambitious military commander, Pyrrhus was a distant relative of Alexander the Great and dreamed of building his own empire in the west. When the Greek city of Tarentum in southern Italy asked for his help against the rising power of Rome, he saw his chance. Pyrrhus knew he needed a game changer, something the Romans had never seen before. So he leased about 20 battle-trained elephants from his Seleucid allies, elephants whose lineage traced directly back to that original gift from India. He loaded these behemoths onto ships and sailed for Italy. The Romans, a disciplined and formidable army, were confident. They had fought Gauls, Samnites, and Etruscans, but they had never fought a living, breathing tank. The first encounter was at the Battle of Heraclea. The Roman legions fought fiercely, pushing back Pyrrhus's infantry, but just when they thought they had the upper hand, Pyrrhus unleashed his secret weapon. The elephants charged. The Roman soldiers stared in horror. Their horses, smelling these strange, massive creatures, panicked and bolted. The men, who had never seen an animal larger than a bull, broke ranks and fled in terror. They called them Lucanian cows, monstrous beasts from another world. The elephants trampled through the Roman lines, their tusks and trunks creating chaos. Pyrrhus won the battle, but at a great cost. He famously said, "One more such victory, and we are undone." This gave us the term Pyrrhic victory, a win so costly it's almost a defeat. He used the elephants again at the Battle of Asculum, with similar results, another victory, but with devastating losses. The Romans, however, were quick learners. They weren't just terrified, they were fascinated. They studied the beast's weaknesses. They realized the elephants were vulnerable to loud noises and could be panicked. They also learned to target the mahouts, knowing that without its guide, an elephant could become just as dangerous to its own side. At the final Battle of Beneventum, the Romans were ready. They had developed new tactics. When Pyrrhus's elephants charged, the Roman legionaries didn't run. They opened their ranks to let the elephants pass through, then attacked their flanks with javelins and spears. More cleverly, some sources say they used heated projectiles or even pigs set on fire, whose squeals would supposedly terrify the elephants, to drive them back into their own lines. The panicked elephants, wounded and confused, turned and trampled Pyrrhus's own men. The tide had turned. Pyrrhus was defeated, his Italian campaign was over, and he retreated to Greece. But the story doesn't end there. Rome's encounter with the Indian war elephant left a permanent mark. They had faced the ultimate ancient superweapon and survived. This experience prepared them for their even greater struggle against Carthage and its famous general Hannibal, who would later march his own elephants over the Alps. The Romans, having learned their lessons from Pyrrhus, were better equipped to handle the threat, and it all circles back to that one diplomatic decision made by an Indian emperor. Bindusara, ruling from his capital in Pataliputra, likely never knew the full impact of his gift. He was securing his borders and projecting his empire's prestige. But in doing so, he inadvertently unleashed India's most formidable weapon upon the European stage, giving the Roman Republic its first terrifying glimpse of the power that lay far to the east. It's a powerful reminder that history is a web of connections, where a peace treaty in India can lead to a stampede on an Italian battlefield, and a gift of 500 elephants can change the course of an empire. What an incredible story, right? It really shows how interconnected the ancient world was. If you found this journey into the past as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into forgotten history. Let me know in the comments what other historical mysteries you'd like to see us uncover. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.